Gentlemen, you are the cream of the world's air forces. This country desperately needs your help. 6 months ago, an extremely well-armed and organized terrorist force carried out a coup d'etat. Attempts to free our country have been foiled by repeated surprise attacks. To avoid escalating this war and causing unacceptable civilian losses, we wish to employ your services. Surgical airstrikes and the elimination of enemy air superiority will tip the scales in our favor. You will receive remuneration commensurate with your positions as the premier top guns of the world. This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit moving to resupply their forward positions. You should have the advantage of surprise. We should have localized air superiority for the duration of the operation. Target, C5A supply unit.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy locked on target. Jesus! Miss! Team on our right! Bogey on our 6. Enemy in up ahead! Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Bogey on our tail! On our right! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Blew him away! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! Great Don't let him get away. Help! Let's return to mission, buddy. Enemy targets located. Locked on target. Fire! Focus on our 6. Jesus, miss! Enemy take off! Stay with him. Jesus, miss! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Great shot! Don't hit! Help! Focus on our tail! On our right! Ahead! Focus on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Take off! Don't hit! Help! Mission accomplished.
Immediate mobilization required. Our base's position was compromised in the last enemy push. Reports indicate imminent arrival of bombers. Scramble and ace those bogies. Target, B-52 Bomber Force.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Locked on us. Focus on our 6. Missile approaching. Dive! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy on our right! Focus on our 6. Up ahead! Take off! Great shot! Don't let him get away! Blew him away! Focus on our tail! On our left! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target! Fire! Shoot it down! It goes! Focus on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! On our right! Jesus! On our left! Up ahead! Focus on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! It goes! Take off! Great shot! Don't let him get away! Wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. On our left.
Warning.
Stay with us. Bogey on our 6. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss. Toast. Bogey on our 6. On our left. Enemy targets located. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Bingo! Yahoo!
Warning.
Take off.
Warning.
Bogey on our
Warning.
tail.
Warning.
Mission accomplished.
AWACS reports an enemy incursion in our sector. We are diverting you from local air support to forward operations. Neutralize the approaching units. Target, enemy attacking force. Formation makeup is unknown. Expect enemy fighter support and a tough dogfight. Good luck.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down!
Warning.
Control! Pull out of it!
Engine stop. Warning.
Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. Take off! Bring Lou him away! Fire! Put it down!
Warning. Warning.
Jesus, miss!
Warning.
Locked on us.
Warning.
Jesus, miss!
Warning.
Missile approaching. 9! Don't let him get away! Bogey on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Bingo! Yahoo! Stay with him. Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss! Stay with him. Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Fire! Back one! On our right! Locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Wait. Enemy target located. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. left! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Back one. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. On our left. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. Enemy up ahead. Take off. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Bogey on our 6. Stay with him. Don't take off. Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss. Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Stay with him. Jesus, miss. Don't let him get away. Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss. Don't let him get away. Stay with him. Don't let him get away. Enemy target located. On our right. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it, break shot! Bogey on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Shoot him away! Enemy target located. Take off! On our right. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Bingo! Bogey on our 6. On our left. Up ahead. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Here. Post. Mission accomplished.
to now, our offensive missions have been constrained by the presence of civilians in Donetsk City. A recent evacuation of that city permits us to engage hard targets within the city perimeter. Target 1, Computer Communications Center. Target 2, Enemy Headquarters Building. Night conditions should neutralize enemy ground fire. However, the city has at least 3 interceptors available. We have no intelligence on force composition. From now on, you will have a wingman assigned to you. Inform him of the operation before departure.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. Up ahead!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Altitude too low. Fly!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Focus 12
damage.
o'clock. Focus on our 6.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body
On
damage.
our right.
Alert, body
Up
damage.
ahead.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy Loki on our 6. Jesus, miss! Take off! Don't let him get away! Peekaboo, him! Enemy targets located. Enemy in sight. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot him down! Jesus, miss! On our right! Altitude too low. Climb!
Caution.
Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. On our left. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Put him down. They blew him away. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot! Bingo! Yahoo! Enemy in sight. Bingo! Altitude too low. Climb! Let's return to mission, buddy. Enemy targets located. Focus 12 o'clock. On our left. Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. Fire! Shoot it down! Here! Take off! Enemy targets located. Altitude too low. Climb! Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Bingo! Take off! Mission accomplished.
Reconnaissance indicates a weak link in their fuel supply infrastructure. A single pipeline transfers all crude oil from their fields to their refinery. Strike both the pipeline and the refinery. Target: oil refinery plant and oil field. Use the pipeline as a reference to the refinery. Locate and destroy. Reconnaissance indicates a weak link in their fuel supply infrastructure. A single pipeline transfers all crude oil from their fields to their refinery. Strike both the pipeline and the refinery. Target: oil refinery plant and oil field. Use the pipeline as a reference to the refinery. Locate and destroy.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. Bogey at 12 o'clock. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Altitude too low. Climb.
Caution.
Take off.
Low altitude.
Altitude
Caution.
too low. Climb. Bogey on our tail. Enemy targets located. Enemy targets located. Up ahead. Altitude too low. Climb.
Caution. Low alert. Body damage.
Altitude too low.
Alert.
Climb.
Body damage.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body
Take
damage.
off. On our left. Up ahead. Enemy in sight.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Take off. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. Don't let him get away. Jesus, miss. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Wasted. Look on our tail. Bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy locked on target.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Slow. Climb.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Enemy locked on our...
Alert. Body damage.
Enemy in sight. Missile approaching. Dive. Dive. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. He's wasted. Enemy in sight. Altitude too low. Climb. I'm losing him. Enemy in sight. Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Climb.
Call warning. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Missile approaching. Dive.
Alert. Body
Dive.
damage. Alert. Body damage.
Missile
Alert.
approaching.
Body damage.
Dive. Dive. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Stay back one. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. We're back one. I'm losing him. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. Close at 12 o'clock. Altitude too low. Fly. Jesus, miss! On our left. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Put it down! Great shot! Bag one! Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! It goes! Woo-hoo! Bogey on our tail! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yeah! Altitude too low. Flying! Enemy in sight. I'm losing him! Enemy in sight. I'm losing him. I'm losing him. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight.
Caution.
Enemy targets located. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Altitude too low. Flying. Take off. Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. On our left. Mission accomplished.
The enemy has proved to have significant resources. This war of attrition is not to our advantage. We are now targeting key infrastructure sites. Target: resources mining system and production plant. Intelligence reports stealth fighters operating in this theater. Remember, their lack of radar signature makes visual sighting essential.
Ready? Right now! Enemy target located. Focus 12 o'clock. Copy on our 6. Take off. Altitude too low. Climb. Copy on our 6. Enemy in sight. Take off. Enemy target located. Enemy target located.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Up ahead.
Alert, body damage.
Enemy
Alert,
locked on
body
target.
damage.
Fire. Shoot it down. Copy on our
Alert,
6.
body damage.
On our right. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Copy on our 6. Enemy locked on target. On our left.
Target: resources mining system and production plant. Intelligence reports stealth fighters operating in this theater. Remember, their lack of radar signature makes visual sighting essential.
Ready? Right. targets located. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey on our 6. Enemy targets located. Take off.
Alert,
Bingo!
body damage.
On our
Alert,
right.
body damage. Alert, body
Bogey on our
damage.
6.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Take off. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy targets located. On our left. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Bogey on our 6. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. West bridge on our left.
Warning.
Locked on us. Bogey on our 6. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Enemy in sight. Up ahead!
Warning.
On our left! Bogey on our 6. Up ahead! Enemy targets located. Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our left! Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Blew him away! I'm losing him! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Enemy target located. Altitude too low. Fly.
Caution.
Quick shot.
Low altitude.
Altitude too low. Fly.
Low altitude.
Enemy in sight. Up ahead.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body
Back
damage.
one.
Alert,
right.
body damage.
Bogey on our
Alert, body
6.
damage.
Enemy in
Alert,
sight.
body damage.
On our right. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. On our right. Bogey on our 6. West fire. Shoot it. Up ahead. Jesus, miss. On our left. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. Bogey on our 6. On our left, take off. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Great shot. Up ahead. On our left. Fire. Shoot it down. Up ahead. West Winter on our left. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on us.
Warning.
Missile approaching. Dive. Dive. Up ahead. On our right. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Bingo. Yahoo! Out. On our right. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Bingo. Blew him away. I'm losing him. Enemy in sight. Enemy target located. Altitude too low. Fire.
Caution.
Enemy locked on
Low
target.
altitude. Caution.
Too low. Fire.
Low altitude. Caution.
Bingo! Yahoo! Take off. Mission accomplished.
Target, enemy radar sight. You have no effective countermeasures to this model of SAM. Exit the ravine and you are toast.
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Move! Enemy target located. Altitude too low. Fire! Missile approaching. Dive! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Move! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire! Wasted! Enemy target located. Enemy target located. Altitude too low. Flying! Missile approaching. Dive!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage. Alert,
Enemy in
body
sight.
damage. Alert, body damage.
Target, enemy radar sight. You have no effective countermeasures to this model of SAM. Exit the ravine and you are toast. The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command. The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Radar System, has been identified. We can expect a steep drop in enemy effectiveness if this site is destroyed. The enemy...
Ready? Break now! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Wait! Enemy target located. Altitude too low. Flying!
Low altitude.
Enemy locked on target.
Halted.
Slow. Fire.
Halted.
Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Wasted! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Altitude too low. Fly!
Target, enemy radar sight. You have no effective countermeasures to this model of SAM. Exit the ravine and you are toast.
Ready? Break down! On our right!
The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Raid.
Ready? Break down! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy target located. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! Enemy targets located. Enemy in sight. On our right.
Regaining Donetsk City is a prime strategic consideration for the enemy. To forestall offensive operations, we will strike their staging area. Target, staging facilities and B-1 bombers. Our goal is to hit them just before their incursion begins.
Ready? Break now! Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Wasted! On our left! Bogey on our 6. On our left! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Domingo! Yahoo! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! Wasted! On our left! Up ahead!
Warning.
Locked on us.
Warning.
On our right. Missile approaching.
Warning.
Dive! Enemy targets located. Take off! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Remove him away! Fire! Shoot it down!
Warning.
Hey!
Warning. Warning.
Enemy locked on us.
Warning. Warning.
Missile approaching. Dive! Dive!
Caution.
Up ahead!
Warning. Warning.
Enemy in sight. Jesus, miss! Enemy locked on target.
Warning.
Bogey on our 6. On our left. Bogey on our tail. Take off. Enemy locked on us. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive!
Caution.
Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Fire! Shoot it down! Bring it! Enemy target located. Up ahead! On our right! Up ahead! On our left! ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Here! Out! Enemy in sight. Enemy target located.
Warning.
Altitude too low. Flying. Enemy locked on target. Enemy locked on target. Take off. Shot. Altitude too low. Flying.
Caution.
Up ahead. Enemy
Warning.
locked on us.
Warning.
On our right. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. On our right. Let's return to mission, buddy. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. Bogey on our 6. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. On our right. Enemy in sight. Enemy in... Bogey on our 6. Take off. Enemy in sight. On our right. Altitude too low. Flying.
Caution.
Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. Don't let him get away. On our left. Up ahead. On our right. Enemy in sight. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. On our right. Let's return to mid. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Jesus, miss. On our right. Up ahead. On our left. Up ahead. Enemy in sight. Fire. Shoot it down. Back one. Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Great shot.
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Enemy in
Alert.
sight.
Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Altitude too low. Climb. Enemy in sight. Enemy in sight. Altitude too low. Flying.
Caution.
Enemy
Low altitude.
altitude too low. Flying.
Low altitude.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo! Mission accomplished.
Your mercenary unit has proved its reliability. We request you aid in the extraction of one of our officers from the enemy mountain fortress. We can only send one unit without alerting the opposition. Target: cripple enemy air defense and land on their runway. Only you have the requisite skills. You will be paid handsomely.
Ready? Break now! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Put it down!
Alert, body damage.
Bogey on our 6.
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
On our right!
Alert, body damage. Alert, body damage.
Up ahead! Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Jesus, miss! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Back one! I'm losing him! Let's return to mission, buddy! Enemy targets located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our right! locked on target. Bogey on our 6. Take back one. Bogey on our tail. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire. Shoot it down. Stay with him. Bingo! Yahoo! Jesus, miss! Stay with him. Blew him away. Let's return to mission, buddy. Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Bogey on our 6. On our right. Up ahead. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! On our left! Up ahead! Fire! Shoot it down! Freaking wasted!
The enemy is committing its huge mothership to this theater. They are growing desperate. The enemy is committing its huge mothership to this theater. They are growing desperate. Eliminate the mothership and their naval mobility is crippled. There are no reference points on the ocean. Pay attention to the operational map. Target mothership.
Ready? Break now. Enemy target located. Enemy locked on us.
Warning.
Bogey at 12 o'clock. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! Enemy locked on target. Take off! Altitude too low. Flying! Enemy in sight. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution. 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 Alert. Body damage.
Flying!
Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
I'm hit! I'm hit!
Alert.
Bogey on our
Body
6.
damage. Alert. Body damage.
Take off! Bogey on our tail! Enemy in sight. On our left! Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution. Alert. Body damage. Alert. Body
Enemy in sight.
damage.
Fire!
Alert.
Shoot down!
Body damage. Alert. Body damage.
Enemy target located.
Alert. Body damage.
Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't let him get away! Let's return to mission. Enemy in sight. Bogey at 12 o'clock. Bogey at 12 o'clock. On our left.
Alert. Body damage. Alert.
Enemy in
Body
sight.
damage. Alert. Body damage.
Enemy in sight.
Alert. Body
Fire! Shoot it
damage.
down!
Alert. Body
Away!
damage.
Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! He's wasted! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution. Low altitude.
Enemy in sight. Enemy
Warning.
locked on us.
Warning.
On our right. Bogey on our 6. Missile approaching. Dive! Dive! On our right. Bogey on our 6. Up ahead. Bogey on our 6. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Take off! On our left. Up ahead! On our right! Bogey on our 6. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution.
Enemy in sight.
Low
Fire!
altitude.
Shoot it down! Bogey on our 6. They blew him away! Bogey on our tail! Take off! On our right! Up ahead! Enemy in sight. Fire! Shoot it down! Jesus, miss! Don't altitude too low! Flying!
Caution.
Stay with back
Low
on!
altitude.
Enemy target located. Enemy locked on target. Fire! Shoot it down! Toast! Enemy locked on target. Altitude too low. Flying!
Caution.
Bingo!
Low altitude. Caution.
Too low. Flying! Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target.
Caution.
Altitude too low.
Alert,
Fire.
body damage.